I love Dragon Ball. I grew up on Dragon Ball Z like most people, then went back and watched the original Dragon Ball. And look, I adore this series. It's a huge part of my childhood. But there's one thing I've always felt Dragon Ball Z could have done way better. Ki. Ki should be one of the coolest power systems in all of anime. It's literally life energy, the foundation of every technique, transformation, and battle. But somewhere along the way, Dragon Ball kind of reduced it to whoever yells louder and makes the bigger beam wins. Which is a shame because both Dragon Ball and Z hinted at how flexible and creative Ki could really be. My name is Fikron, and today I'll be talking about the wasted potential of Ki in the Dragon Ball series. To be fair, the original Dragon Ball at least experimented with Ki. It wasn't just about raw strength, it was about technique. We had Yamcha's Spirit Ball, a controllable projectile that could chase enemies. Master Roshi's Evil Containment Wave, sealing opponents in a rice cooker. Devilman's Devil Knight Beam, using your own dark thoughts to destroy you. These were imaginative ideas that gave characters personality in battle. Ki was used in unique ways, not just to throw beams. But even then, Dragon Ball didn't expand on any of it. Most of those techniques were used once and then completely forgotten. Roshi never used the Mafuba again, and Devilman just vanished. So yeah, it was creative, but inconsistent. The potential was there, but the series never dug deeper into what Ki could really do. Then came Z, and while it's easily one of the most iconic shows ever made, it shifted focus hard. Everyone could suddenly fly. Everyone could shoot energy blasts. And battles became more about who had the higher power level rather than who used their Ki better. But to its credit, DBZ did introduce some interesting Ki abilities. For example, Goku sensing future Trunks' heart to see if he'd had any intent of attacking. Guldo freezing time. Though I'm not sure if this is a Ki ability or a racial one. Frieza's telekinesis, which was completely forgotten after one scene. Gotenk's kamikaze ghost attack, which I don't know where he learned that, but it's such a cool and unique Ki technique. And of course, Majin Buu's Candy Beam. That ability is broken. It worked on even Vegito. These techniques were all unique, but they all disappeared just as quickly as they appeared. It's a shame that Ki turned from this mysterious spiritual force into a kind of combat currency. Whoever had more, won. Let's be honest, Goku had basically two attack moves, the Kamehameha and the Spirit Bomb. 3 if you count the Dragon Fist as canon. Vegeta, Final Flash, Big Bang Attack. Cool names, visually different, but fundamentally just colored beams. And Piccolo, the one character who actually had weird and creative abilities like stretching, regenerating, and growing giant, almost never used them in serious fights. It's not that these moves weren't cool. They're some of the most iconic in anime. I just felt that many of these characters could have had more unique Ki identities, but instead they just fire different shades of laser. And that's why I absolutely love the concept of spirit control in the manga. Spirit control finally explains that Ki isn't just raw power, it's precision. By mastering the movement and balance of your spirit, you can completely change how Ki behaves. It allows for things like instant transmission, which is the most basic level, cloning and gigantification, healing, which takes extreme control, and finally, forced spirit fission, which separate fusions or absorbed beings by splitting their energy. That's huge! It redefines what Ki even is, from just energy output to something almost spiritual, something that can reshape matter and consciousness. Spirit control turns Ki from a number on a scouter into something much deeper, and that opens the door to so many new ideas for future Dragon Ball fights. That's what excites me the most. Spirit control makes the future of Dragon Ball feel fresh again. Not because of new transformations, but because of new possibilities. So yeah, Dragon Ball Z dropped the ball when it came to exploring Ki's full potential. Even the original Dragon Ball had great ideas, but never pushed them far enough. But Spirit control? That feels like the first real step toward making Ki something meaningful again. What do you guys think? Is Spirit control the Ki system Dragon Ball always needed? Or do you still prefer the old school simplicity? Share your thoughts down below in the comments.